Good morning, or good afternoon. This is cause number 2016-81735. In the interest of Austin and Ryan Rodriguez, please all parties raise your right hands to be sworn. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Help me God.
Yes.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the children.
I'm Melissa C. Romero, the mother.
All right, sir, your name and your relationship to the children.
My name is Jeffrey Rodriguez. I'm the father.
All right, counsel, your name and who you represent.
Arthur Parras on behalf of the non-custodial parent, Mr. Rodriguez.
All right, and for the state.
Kara Mitchell.
All right, and we've got a motion to confirm support arrearage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so we don't have any stipulations, I assume, because we're having a hearing. Is that correct, Ms. Mitchell?
I believe
That
we have
is correct.
stipulations, don't we? And that the only issue was the amounts that are to be held in trust by the Attorney General. Ms. Mitchell?
No, we are still trying to figure out what the judgments should be, whether or not any possession credit will be given. So if we don't know that, we don't really have.
We don't have an amount, Mr. Parras, that everybody's in agreement as to how much he's in arrears.
Yes, sir.
We do have an amount?
Oh, Ms. Mitchell?
Um, per the pay record, we have that, but if there's possession credit that is owed, we don't have an actual amount.
Okay, but you have an amount per the pay record, and then
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez is requesting time for possession, or rather some type of discount because he has a possession period. Is that correct, Ms. Mitchell?
That's
That
correct.
is what he's requesting, yes.
All right, so what is the amount then in accordance with the pay record that everybody agrees to?
As of March the 24th, for child support, the amount is $10,000, $10,101.61.
All right, any cash medical support?
Cash medical support arrears as of yesterday, $2,641.20.
Okay, and any other arrearages?
That is it, Your Honor.
Okay, is that your agreement so far? This is what the pay record shows. Mr. Parras, is that your agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Romero, please unmute yourself. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
your agreement?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now the question is he going to get credit for possession? So let's proceed.
All right. Your Honor, the state would first like to call its first witness, Miss Melissa Romero. Miss Romero, could you please state your name for the record again?
Melissa C. Romero.
Are you asking for this judge to take a judgment for child support in the amount of $10,101.61 against Mr. Jeffrey Rodriguez today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you heard us discuss the arrears for medical support, which is $2,641. Are you asking for the judge to order a judge or to grant a judgment in that amount and set a payout for medical support and for child support arrears?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now your child, does he live with you right now?
No, ma'am. He lives with his grandparents and his aunt.
Okay. Did you direct your child to live with his grandparents?
No, ma'am.
How did he come to live with his grandparents?
He came to live with the grandparents after we had you can say a dispute with Ryan, and I dropped him off trying to get help from his dad at the grandparents' house because I knew no knowledge of where the dad lived.
When did he go to live with his grandparents?
It was in June of 2019.
I'm sorry, when?
June of 2019.
And this is this the maternal or paternal grandparents?
His dad's parents.
Okay,
Paternal.
paternal grandparents.
Okay.
That is the one child, Ryan, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now Austin is 20, gonna be 20 years old here pretty soon. Is that correct?
Gonna be
Yes, Your Honor.
21. Yes, sir.
Okay, and so we're at a point, if we're only dealing with one child, was there a step down on the $725 a month
Yes,
from
sir.
the
I
original?
believe so. Yes, sir.
Ms.
Now,
Mitchell, can you
let's see, Ms.
confirm that?
Mitchell, do you have that
No,
information?
sir. No,
Let
sir.
me see, Your Honor.
I've been
Right.
paying 860.
Hold on. I don't want everybody to jump in. I'm asking a question of Miss Mitchell. Do you know
Give
if there was a
me
step down
a
provision?
moment. I did not see a step down provision, but let me verify that.
What date was that order?
Let me log in.
January of 17. Final judgment. Okay. I'm gonna look for it and see if
Okay.
that was a child support review order, correct? Mm. Okay, it seems there was a step down to 565.
Yes, actually.
So that's how much you should be paying at this point?
Yes.
565? And is that reflected on the pay record?
It is reflected on the pay record, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, Miss Ramiro, when Ryan went to live with his grandparents, do you know if Mr. Rodriguez also lived with his parents, who Ryan is now staying with?
At the time, no. He wasn't living there when Ryan was there.
I was living there.
Sir, nobody's talking to you. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
you're going to have an opportunity to speak. Your attorney's going to have an opportunity to ask you questions,
Yes, sir.
and then, but you need to be quiet
Yes, sir.
while we're conducting this hearing. Okay,
Yes, sir.
go ahead, Miss Mitchell.
And Miss Ramiro, how do you know that Mr. Rodriguez did not live with his parents?
My two older sons lived there. They both told me when I used to go visit them. Ryan even told me himself, and the grandmother and the aunt.
Your Honor, I
Okay.
object to the hearsay response. She has no personal knowledge.
All right, sustain.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Miss Ramiro. If you knew that Mr. Rodriguez was living with his parents, would you give him possession credit?
Sure.
Agree to possession credit?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, Mr. Barras, you have any questions of Mr. Romero?
No, Your Honor, but I
All
would
right.
like to,
Well, wait a minute. Mr.
yes, Your
Mitchell,
Honor.
you have another witness you wish to present?
Yes. I'd like to call Mr. Jeffrey Rodriguez.
All right.
Mr. Rodriguez, where does Ryan live?
Right now, at the moment, he is living with my parents. And
Okay.
they recently just moved out of the home due to the pandemic and them losing their home. So they just about 2 or 3 months ago moved in with my sister. And so that's where Ryan is staying at the moment right now.
Okay, but he is still with your parents.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did Ryan go to stay with your parents?
Of June of 2019.
Okay, and at that time,
Also live there. Yes, ma'am. At the time.
at the time, did you stay with your parents?
I did, yes, ma'am. And my oldest two children didn't move back. I mean, didn't get kicked out of their mother's house until a few months later because they as well got kicked out.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, please only answer the questions that I'm asking, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you stay with your parents right now?
Not at the moment, no, ma'am.
Okay, when did you stop living with your parents?
As of June of probably of May of last year, somewhere around there.
Okay. So are you asking, you heard the balances that we discussed earlier. Are you asking for possession credit?
It would be nice, yes, ma'am, to only for, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I pass this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Barras, you have any questions for your client?
Not at this time, Your Honor, but subject to recall.
All right, Ms. Mitchell, do you have any further witnesses?
I do not have any further
All
witnesses.
right, Mr. Barras, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to call Ms. Romero.
All right.
Ms. Romero,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it a fact that you've been filing for the tax credit when you file and claim your child as a credit on your IRS?
I filed for 2019 for him because I paid insurance and he was still with me
And what about 2020?
because I was still paying for the insurance. Because I was still
But he was
taking,
not,
I was
he was
still,
not
Hold
I
living.
was still,
He was,
I was still taking care of him. I was still
hold on,
providing for him on the side.
hold on a second. Have you filed for your 2020 tax
Uh,
return yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Barras.
and also, have you been receiving my client's stimulus check?
No, sir, because everything is on hold and it all went to child support. So I have nothing.
It's our position, Your Honor,
Well,
that
wait
my
a minute.
client gave.
Wait. You can't
Sure.
make a final argument yet. You're still questioning Ms. Romero. Are you past the witness?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Mitchell, do you have any cross-examination for Ms. Romero?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Parras, do you have any further witnesses you wish to present?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so I suppose we've got a final argument here, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, it's the state's position that, well, it's your decision to decide about possession credit, but any judgment that you grant, it's the state's position that it should go to Ms. Romero at this point, as there's not been a change in conservatorship, even though this child has gone to stay with grandparents. It's our position that Ms. Romero is owed back child support in this matter.
All right. Ms. Romero, you have something you want to say by way of final argument?
No, ma'am. No, sir.
Mr. Parras?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. May it please the court. We take the position that the custodial parent has no entitlement to any money that is being held by the Attorney General insofar as a child did not live with her, and she, in fact, ousted him from the home, and he was on his own. And my client has been paying diligently his child support, and is now in the hands of the Attorney General. And there was some discussion that because the grandparents have not intervened to claim that money that they are fairly entitled to, that it's the Attorney General's position that they're just going to refund it back to the custodial parent, which she has no entitlement to it, and it should probably be dispersed back to my client. And the matter of any money owed his parents should be a private matter between son and parents.
Okay, is the state holding monies in
The
trust?
money has been there. I was able to see that there was a whole place on the case.
When?
2019.
For what reason?
I believe it is because Mr. Mr. Rodriguez was trying to say that the kid was with him.
And what amounts are being withheld? You know?
I believe it's the full amount of child support.
Are you talking about the arrearages? Mr. Parra, do you know how much, if there's any money being held in trust with the Attorney
It
General's
appears to
office?
be by the logs that it's in the neighborhood of around 12,000.
Is this, do we have that information, Ms. Mitchell?
Give me a moment, Your Honor. I believe it is that amount. Let me email. I believe it's about 12,000, Your Honor, that they have on hold.
You don't have an exact amount?
Not without contacting my MAG, unfortunately.
May it please the court?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at the Attorney General financial activity report that was generated March 25th today, and it shows a balance of $12,742.81.
That's for child support. How about
Yes, Your
cash?
Honor.
How about the medical support?
Ms. Mitchell, can you address that?
Yes, the medical support amount that we have is, as of yesterday, is $2,641.20.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And how much was he to pay for cash medical support? $142?
$142.
All right, so if there is any possession credit given, how does that factor in if you're showing a arrearage of $2,101.67 on child support, when in fact there's 12,000 plus in the bank, so to speak?
Correct, Judge.
How if I were to give him possession credit for a certain period of time, and let's just pull something out of the air. Say if I gave him possession credit for $10,000, what
Mm-hmm.
amount is $10,000? What happens? He gets $10,000. She gets $2,742. I mean, how's that dispersed? Okay, I'm gonna take a short recess so that Ms. Mitchell can
I'm
check
gonna go
with
talk
her.
to my Meg and
Yeah,
see.
check with her managing attorney to see how that breaks down. I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure. This is sort of a unusual situation. The fact that the state has certain amount of money in trust, and the non-custodial parent is requesting possession credit. How is that dispersed when in fact there is a uh, arrearage of $2,101? So even though there's been $12,742 paid in for child support, there's still an arrearage of $2,101. Is that basically, am I correct on that, Ms. Mitchell? Or do you need to check with your managing attorney?
I need to check with my managing attorney
Okay,
first.
okay. Let's take a
That's a
let's
good
take a
idea.
brief recess so that you can
Very
check,
well.
and then we will resume. Let's say at 2:30. Okay.